There are calls you forget by the end of your shift. A fender bender on the interstate. A noise complaint from the same address for the third time that week. Somebody's dog got out again. You log it. You dispatch it. You move on. After 11 years behind that console, Marcus Webb had learned to let the forgettable ones go. This one never let go of him. It was a Tuesday night in late October. Not Halloween. Nothing dramatic like that. Just a cold, quiet Tuesday where the wind had been pressing against the dispatch center windows since sundown, and the fluorescent lights were doing that faint humming thing that nobody ever bothered to fix. Marcus was 40 minutes from the end of his shift. He had a cup of coffee that had gone cold an hour ago, and a crossword puzzle he wasn't really paying attention to. The radio chatter was light. It was the kind of night that made you feel like the whole county had just decided to go to sleep early. Then the call came in at 11:47 p.m. The line connected, and for a moment there was nothing. Just a thick, heavy silence on the other end. Not dead air, something was there. Marcus could feel it the way you feel a presence in a dark room before your eyes adjust. Then she spoke. "Please, someone is in my house." Marcus straightened in his chair. He went through his standard protocol, calm and steady. The way he always did, he asked for her address. She gave it without hesitation. 4 Hollow Creek Road, out on the east edge of town, past the old grain elevator where the road stops being paved and the tree-line crowds in close on both sides. He asked her name. A pause then, softly. "Diane." He asked if she could describe the intruder. Anything she could give him. Another pause, longer this time. When she spoke again, her voice had dropped so low Marcus had to press the headset hard against his ear just to hear her. "He's been standing outside my bedroom window every night for 2 weeks. Just standing there. I never see him move. Every time I look away and look back, he's just somewhere else. Last night he was at the window. Tonight he's inside." Marcus was already dispatching units. 2 cars, active intruder, possible assault in progress. His hands were doing their job, while his ear stayed pressed to the headset. "I'm in the upstairs closet. He's on the stairs. I can hear him." Marcus told her help was coming. He told her to stay quiet. Stay low. Stay on the line. Then he heard it too. Slow, heavy footsteps moving up a staircase. A creak of old wood under weight. A pause. Then another step. Unhurried. Patient. Like something that already knew exactly where she was and saw no reason to rush. "He never knocks," she whispered. "That's the thing I keep thinking about. 2 weeks. He never once knocked. He just appears." Marcus kept his voice level. He told her units were 6 minutes out. He asked her to keep talking to him. "He's smiling. Every time I see him through the glass, he's smiling. Just standing there in the dark, smiling at me like he's been waiting for a very long time." Marcus gripped the edge of his console. He asked if she could still hear the footsteps. A pause. They stopped. He told her that was good. He told her that might mean he'd gone back downstairs. Silence on the line. Then Diane said very quietly, "No, it's not good." Marcus asked why. "Because now he's right outside the closet." Marcus stopped breathing for a second. He asked her if she was sure. She didn't answer. What he heard instead was the soft, dry groan of old floorboards settling directly outside a door. One step, then stillness then, so faint Marcus would later question whether he had imagined it. One long, slow exhale, calm, unhurried, right on the other side of the wood. "He's just standing there. He's not doing anything. He's just standing there." Marcus told her units were 3 minutes out. He told her to put her back against the wall and stay absolutely silent. He kept his voice as steady as he could manage. The line stayed open. He could hear her trying not to breathe. 1 minute passed, 2. Then Diane whispered something so quietly that Marcus almost missed it entirely. "He's still smiling. I can see it under the door." He turned on his phone light. "He's showing me." The line went silent after that. Not disconnected, just silent. Marcus sat there talking into dead air until the units called in their arrival at 12:04 a.m. Officers Reyes and Callahan reached Hollow Creek Road and stopped before they even got out of the car. 4 Hollow Creek Road was not a home anyone was living in. The front porch had collapsed on one side, wood rotted through and pulling away from the frame. Every window was dark the way a place is dark when nothing inside has produced light in a very long time. No furniture, no mailbox, no car in the driveway. Weeds had grown waist-high along the foundation and dried out with the season, standing stiff and pale in the headlights. The front door was partially open, not forced, just hanging the way old doors hang when their frames have warped, and there is no one left to pull them shut. They went in with flashlights and hands on their holsters. Inside, the house smelled of cold and mold and something underneath both of those things that neither officer ever found the right word for. The staircase held their weight. The floors upstairs held their weight. They checked every room, every closet. Nothing. Reyes stood in the upstairs hallway and looked at the closet door across from him. He opened it slowly. His flashlight moved across the back wall and he stopped, carved into the wood, deep, uneven cuts. The kind made by something small, a key, maybe a fingernail worn down to nothing. The letters were ragged but readable. "Help me, he's still here." Below that, scratched over and over in the same frantic motion until the wood was gouged raw. "He's still here, he's still here, he's still here." Reyes stood there for a long moment before he called it in. In the dust on the closet floor, directly in front of the wall, was the impression of two knees. Fresh, pressed deep. Someone had been kneeling there recently, weight forward, close to the wall. The dust everywhere else in that closet hadn't been disturbed in years. The recording went to a detective named Okafor the following morning. He ran the address, came back 40 minutes later, and set a photograph on Marcus's desk without saying anything. Diane Marsh, 31 years old at the time of her disappearance, reported missing from 4 Hollow Creek Road on October 19, 1987. Last seen by a neighbor who noticed her car in the driveway for 3 consecutive days. No sign of forced entry, no sign of Diane. The case had been cold for 39 years. Marcus looked at the photograph for a long time. He looked at her face. He thought about her voice on the line, the way she breathed, the way she said he's still smiling, like it was the most specific and awful thing she could imagine telling someone. He didn't say much after that. 3 audio technicians reviewed the recording over the following weeks. They confirmed the voice was real, the breathing was real, the footsteps were real. The 3rd technician filed a supplemental report that nobody talked about much afterward. When the audio was cleaned and the background noise filtered out, something else was present in the recording. A second voice, faint, very close to the microphone, meaning it had been standing directly beside her inside that closet. It was whispering. They couldn't make out most of it, just fragments, calm and low and patient in a way that made the technician describe it in her report as not distressed, not urgent, comfortable, like something that had been waiting a long time and had finally gotten what it wanted. Marcus retired 8 months after that night. He tells people 11 years was enough. He wanted to fish, slow down, spend time with his wife. She says he still sleeps with the lamp on. She says he checks the windows before bed now. Every night, always the bedroom window last. She says sometimes she finds him sitting in the kitchen at 3 a.m., not doing anything, just sitting in the light with his hands flat on the table. She asked him once what he was thinking about during those nights. He told her it wasn't Diane's voice that stayed with him. It wasn't the scratches in the wall. It wasn't even the second voice on the recording. It was the one word the technician eventually isolated from the whisper, the one fragment they could clean up clearly enough to transcribe. Calm, patient, spoken inches from Diane's ear. Again, just that again, like it had happened before, like it would happen again, like whatever was in that closet with her on October 19th, 1987. It was still there, still waiting, still smiling in the dark, and now it knew her name wasn't the only one worth remembering.